I'll be teaching you how to sew this trendy summer dress. You can see this one has an inbuilt breast tube. This other one on the right hand side does not have, and it has a full halter neck for front and back. So I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to sewing this bubble mini gown you are seeing right here. So this is the keyhole parts and the halter neck dress as well. So you can see how it looks right there. You actually need a very soft fabric, but for tutorial purpose I just use doll face satin, and it's not actually feeling the way it should feel. So you need either a chiffon fabric, and this is the breast tube, and this is the rope you are seeing at the back, including the backless parts. So I will show you how to sew the dress without making it backless like you have in the other second picture. You'll be needing 3 yards of chiffon fabric, or duchess or crepe, or any light fabric can do this job. So you are going to open up your fabric. I've already cut out 2 yards out of the 3 yards. So this is the 2 yards we are going to use for the front piece. So I'm going to pick up this and place it on bias. The bias is just part bias, it's not a full bias. So you can see what I'm doing here. So you lay your fabric partly on bias this way. So just watch the video and see how I laid my fabric. You can see that. After laying your fabric, you are going to mark a straight line at that intersection. Of course, you are seeing where I'm marking my line right now. You mark a straight line at that point. That will be your starting line. Next, you are going to place your tape at the folded part and mark your shoulder divide by 2. Then you add 2 more inches to it. That will be for the gathering. Then come down by 1.5 inches at the center front. Then you are going to connect an oval neckline this way. You can see how I marked my neckline because we are going to gather into it. Then from that point, you mark 4 inches for the keyhole, or let's do 3.5 inches. Now you are going to come in by 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch is 0.75 on the neckline. I will use it to form the keyhole as shown. So I'll just go ahead and mark my keyhole line. So the ruler was not actually giving me the exact keyhole line, so I have to freehand it, as you can see. Next, you are going to place your tape on the starting line to mark the full length of this dress. The full length I'm working with is the knee line, which is 41 inches. So I tried marking 41 inches, as you can see, just like you mark in your circle dress. So I just marked it all the way down this way. So that is the full length line. After marking the full length, I place my tape at the starting line to mark 17 inches, which is my waistline. That is where we are going to attach the backless part. Then at a second thought, I thought of increasing the length of my dress to 44 inches. Okay, so it's not going to be too short. So I added 3 more inches, 3 more inches all the way down. Next, just go ahead and connect a straight line or a halter neckline from the shoulder line to the waistline as shown, and blend it into an A line to the down part, as you can see. Next, I'm going to place my tape on the shoulder line to mark 6 inches for the breast tube. So you mark 6 inches. That 6 inches is your over bust and is standard. Then you mark your under bust. Mine is 14 inches. So right now, I'm going to place my tape on the shoulder and mark that 6 inches to get to the center front area. I'm going to also mark the difference between the over bust and the under bust, which is 8 inches, all the way to the center front area. Measurement on the upper side is 13 inches and the lower side gave me 17 inches. So the upper part is 13, lower is 17. I added it together, I got 30. Then you divide it by 2 to get the average, which is 15 inches. So the breast tube width is going to be 15 inches, okay, while on fold. Next, I'm going to add half an inch on the neckline. That is for stitching the neckline to the belt or the band at the up. It's time for us to cut out, and this is how I'm cutting out. After cutting the neckline, I'm going to cut all the way down. Next, I will measure upwards 15 inches. This 15 inches is for the elastic. The elastic that is going to form that bubble, okay? So you are going to see how this elastic is being lifted to form the bubble you are seeing on this dress, on the down part. So I mark 15 inches, which is the elastic line. Then I'm going to flip the fabric the other way too. Make sure you have these lines because we are going to sew our elastic on top of the line. So you need to sew on the line. So here I'm going to mark all the way, as you can see. So at this point, if you want to make exactly the second bubble mini dress, which does not have an open back, just go ahead and cut out with your other 2 yards. You'll be needing 4 yards, so you just place the other 2 yards, this one on top of the other 2 yards, and cut exactly what we have right here. The back part, I brought back my 1 yard of fabric, and this is the 60 inches length. So you just place this on fold on the 60 inches length. Once you place it on fold on 60 inches length, it's going to give you 30 inches. So if you measure right now, you are going to have 30 inches. Next, you go ahead and place the front piece. Align the front piece with the folded parts. So once you align it, make sure it's aligning very properly. You secure with your pins. Next, we are going to trace out from the waistline. So you can see me tracing the sides. I'll trace the down part as shown. So right now you are going to mark or trace out. So at this point, you are going to trace out the waistline. So I'm taking off my pins to make sure I get that waistline. Then on top of it, you are going to mark 1.5 inches for your elastic band, okay? So you mark on top 1.5 inches for your elastic band. Next, I'm going to cut on the elastic band length as shown, and then cut out the size of it just to give us the shape of the back, as you can see. After that, I'm going to place a notch at the center back as shown. Next, I'm going to measure 15 inches. I'm measuring this 15 inches from the down part on the wrong side of this fabric as shown. Don't forget to turn to the other side as well, because we are going to have our elastic run all the way down this way. It's time to create the elastic casing, which we marked at 1.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead to fold in half an inch and 1 inch, and I'm going to stitch my elastic band as shown. My elastic length is my waist measurement divided by 4. Then I added 3 inches to it. So I have 12 inches as the length of my elastic right now. So I'm going to insert it into the casing as shown. I'm done inserting my elastic right now. I'm going to set the back piece aside. So we are going to create the keyhole right now. That means we are going to get a facing for this keyhole. But meanwhile, I'm trying to highlight that keyhole. So when sewing it is going to be very, very easy. So I got a piece of fabric, as you can see right here, and I'm going to place it on fold. Next, I placed the fabric on top of it, then secure with my pins. Then I'm going to measure downwards 3 inches on the keyhole line, and on the neckline I measured 3 inches as well. After holding down with your pin, go ahead and cut to the 3 inches point and take off the upper part. Then you are going to shape in your facing as shown. There is no actual measurement as to the shape of your facing. Next, I'm going to iron this facing, giving a crease line at the center front area, and I'll also give a crease line on the fabric as shown. I'm going to open up the right side of the facing. You can see the crease line. Then you place the right side to right side of the fabric. I'll go ahead and secure my pins on the crease line which is at the center front. Make sure the line is on the center front. After pinning, I will go over to the machine right now to stitch. So this is how I'm going to stitch. I'll just stitch in on the line this way. So I'm just trying to make the line equal because it was not actually looking equal. So I'll stitch right. I'm done stitching and this is what I got. And you can see the facing. I went ahead to hem it as well. You can weave that part if you want. Now I'm going to cut through the facing at 0.25 or a quarter of an inch. Okay, so after cutting it out, I made a little notch on the sides as shown. I'll flip all my seams to the lining and top stitch or the facing top stitch and give it a good press. After ironing, this is what I got. So I'm going to take the measurement of the space I have there. I have 1.75 inches. So just write 1.75 inches somewhere. And we are going to gather all of this part on the neck belt. Here you can see I'm gathering that part. So this part is going to be stitched on the neck belt. So I'm going to gather the both of them. It's time to prepare the neck belt. So the width of my neck belt on fold is 2 inches and the length is 45 inches. And I folded it on the wrong side and placed it on fold to get the midpoint. So here is the midpoint right now. Right now we are going to get that 1.75, which is the spacing of the keyhole. I'm going to place it on fold to get the midpoint. You place the midpoint at the center and mark 1.75 keyhole spacing. So that space there is 1.75 for the keyhole. From the center front, you are going to measure 4 inches. 4 inches is standard for a halter neck. So I'll mark 4 inches on both sides, making it a total of 8 inches for a halter neck. This is standard. Next, I'm going to place notches on those points. All the points I marked, I will place notches on them as shown. You can see I'm still placing my notches on all the points as shown. Then we are going to stitch like a belt right now. So I'll go to the machine and stitch this way and stop at the first point. Stitch the other way and stop, leaving the center front open. After stitching, I left this part open as you can see. Next, you are going to place a notch on the first point where you have the stitching and on the other belt side where the stitching stopped as well. So you can see that those 1/2 inch notches will enable you to sew the neckline. Next, you will go ahead to turn the neckline. I'm using my screwdriver to do that. After turning the belt, this is what the belt looks like. So you can see the part we notched is open for the neckline to go in. So we are going to jump into the breast tube. So for the breast tube, I went ahead and fold my fabric. Remember the measurement we got was 15 inches. So you fold at 15 inches as shown. Next, you are going to mark your elastic casing. My elastic casing for the breast tube is 1.5 inches. I'm going to rule my line across. So you are going to place 6 inches, which is the over bust, on that line and mark your under bust. Mine is 14 inches. Then you rule your line. For the down part, you will mark 1.5 inches elastic casing for the down part. Next, we are going to cut out a squared shape this way for the breast tube. So this breast tube is optional, it's for big bust. If you are not on a big bust, I will advise you to make a breast tube for it, okay? So here you can see what we have. Next, I'm going to create 1/2 inch, 1 inch for the elastic casing. My elastic casing is very much ready. So if you measure it, you have that 8 inches, which is the difference between my over bust and my under bust. So I'm going to insert my elastic right now. The length of my elastic is my bust circumference divided by 4. I got 10 inches, so I just added 2 more inches to it, making the length of the elastic 12 inches. So I went ahead to insert the 12 inches length of elastic as shown to the end, and I also insert to the other side as well. So this is what I got for the breast tube. So you can see the space at which the bust is going to enter. Now we are going to attach the breast tube to the dress this way. Don't forget to notch the over bust, which is at 6 inches, and also notch your under bust, which is at 14 inches. I will go ahead to put this together so we can be able to place notches on the over bust of 6 inches and the under bust of 14 inches accordingly. Next, I'm going to stitch the breast tube on it. So you are going to place it right side to the wrong side this way. We are going to stitch on those markings. Just stitch 1/2 inch, and I'll take the other one this way and stitch as well. This is what I got after I'm done stitching as shown. I'm going to create that little band at the back. The width of the band is 2 inches, while the length is 1/4 of your waist plus 5 inches. I used 1/4 of an inch to stitch this band, and I'm able to turn it using my needle and thread. So this is the technique you are going to use. You just rub the head of the needle and thread into it this way. You keep pushing it all the way down. You can also insert the needle hole into the space and keep moving it till it comes out from the other end as shown. So once it comes out at the other end, this is what we got. Next, I'll go ahead to cut out that edge I closed so we can insert our elastic. So for the elastic, I'm going to insert right here. The length of my elastic is 1/4 of my waistline. 1/4 of my waistline, so it snatches very well. I'm going to sew that elastic band on the edge of the back piece this way, okay? This is what I got after I'm done sewing. So next we are going to place right side to right side of the back and the front. So I'm placing it on the notch from the waistline. This is what I got after I'm done sewing. So next we are going to fold in the edges this way. You just fold 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch and run your stitch to the neckline. This is what I got after I'm done sewing. You can see that. So the next thing is to sew the neckline, the neck belt on the neckline. I have to zoom my camera for you to understand how this part is being sewn. Now I'm going to open up the down part this way. You can see the notches and the open part. I'm going to pick up the first end this way, wrong side to the wrong side, secure with my pin, place it on the next notch to the keyhole opening, and continue like that. I'll stitch 1/2 inch all the way down. After stitching, then you are going to fold in 1/2 inch this way, secure with your pin, go over to the machine and stitch top stitch on it, but you can secure with your pins first, okay? So it's going to be very easy for you. So I'm top stitching all the way straight across the keyhole opening. Neckline is very much ready. You can see what we got right here. Next we are going to sew the elastic. So we are going to sew the elastic on the line. The elastic length is your waist measurement minus 4 inches. If your total waist measurement is 36, take away 4 inches and it's going to give you 32 inches. So right here, I'm going to sew. This is how to sew now. I'll keep dragging it while sewing. So if your waist is very small, that means you make a little gathering of the fabric and still drag the elastic, okay, because at the end of the day the elastic might not be enough to complete it, so you can make little gathers and place the elastic on it. So this is what I got right here, and this is what is going to create that bubble. Next, you go ahead to hem the down part, and that is how we come to the end of it. So I want to show you how to create that bubble while I wear this dress. So to create the bubble, this is how the dress is. So you keep pushing it up this way to create that bubble.